I had an indie developer hit me up the other day for his game called Sonak. Sonak is a brand new upcoming indie action RPG, and I want to break down what all the game has to offer. He hit me up a few days ago. It's maybe been a little over a week now. I've done a stream covering the game, and I thought instead of giving you guys a 3-hour stream to sift through, let's just give you a video talking about what the game is and why you should be hyped for it. Hello, this is Idodmg, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm excited to talk to you about Sonak. Sonak is going to be releasing its public demo later on this month, January 2026. When the developer reached out to me, he asked if I would want early access to the demo to check it out, this and that, and sure, why not? You know me, I love indie action RPGs. Let's jump in and check it out. I was a little bit hesitant at first, but then once I actually got my hands on the game and played it, I immediately felt the charm with its itemization, crafting system, and interesting builds. I think it's worth noting I'm not being paid or anything like that to make this video. I'm just using my time here to talk about the game with you and tell you why I think you should put it on your wish list and hopefully check out the public demo when it comes out. Maybe I'll be dethroned from the #1 on the leaderboard in the game, which isn't really that much of a bragging right since not that many people even have access to the game. I know when the demo's out, I'll see my name broop all the way down to the bottom. Totally cool with that. I'm a father of 4, family first. But back to Sonak Action RPG. We went ahead and jumped into the game here. When you first fire up Sonak, you're going to go ahead and click start, hop in. And your very first character, you can see I have a bunch of characters already. I've been just kind of tinkering around with the game, sharing feedback, stuff like that. So the builds are interesting, but to get started, you have to make a character, right? So when you very first start, you're going to have a choice of 3 different elements that you can be. There's 3 more that are going to be when the full version of the game it says, which I can't wait to get my hands on. But you have fire, you have ice or frost is what it's called, and you also have earth. And these provide different benefits. Fire is going to do damage over time with burning. Frost is going to do a freeze buildup that's going to give lower movement speed and stuff. And then earth is going to give you a buff that reduces damage taken. Personally, my favorite, I really like the fire, and you can do a lot of cool different things with the damage over time. But what's really cool about this is let's just pick one and go on to the next option you have here. Next up, you can pick your main ability. So this is going to be literally what you're using your entire time that you play, and you're just going to be doing all your damage. Currently, there are 4 choices in the game, and it looks like there's 6 more to come down the pipe. Again, can't wait to get my hands on those. But for now, we have Slash, Spears, Storm, or Projectile. Now, I've tried all of them. My personal favorite is Storm is super strong. It did get a little bit of a nerf, though, based on my stream that I had. But I think my personal favorite and the strongest one that I've been farming with is the Projectile. Well, what's really cool, I want to back up a minute here. So let's say you're going to go Projectile. You're like, well, that's a fire projectile. Well, look at this. We can switch our element to earth if we wanted to, and we can actually make that become an earth projectile. I'll actually make the character here and show you what that looks like. So once you've picked your base element, your main ability you're going to use, you can choose a secondary ability. There's 4 choices here. You have one that's going to give you a buff, you have one that's going to do a shield charge, you have a blink mobility skill, and you also have a shield ability as well. The strongest one in the game, in my opinion, is blink. Literally, you're going to need it for one of the last bosses that you're going to fight. But the other ones are viable as well. I have not tried charge, but I've tried shield and berserk as well. So I feel like they're all viable. My personal favorite is blink. So you can make your name here. We're going to name mine Idodmg Overview since we're making an overview video for the game. You can do hardcore if you want. I've tried hardcore. It's pretty fun. But let's go ahead and jump in. I just want to show you here what the earth projectile looks like. There you go. So literally, you can choose any of those abilities with whatever element. You can mix and match them. And they actually are going to have different effects as well. So once you've made your character, you've decided on your element, your main ability, your secondary ability. That's going to be your basis foundation that you're just going to build off and make absolutely crazy, honestly, with all the different things you can do with the different builds. But let's go ahead and jump in and keep talking about builds here and what all you can actually do. We'll go ahead and hop back onto my Idodmg overview here and kill a couple mobs. Remember, this is a demo, so it's still very early, but here in these maps, we're going to talk about all the content a little bit later, but obviously you're going to get loot. I mean, that's the big draw, right? Let's just kill something here, see if we can level up. I guess while we're leveling up, I can talk to you a little bit about the actual gameplay and the combat here. So right-click is going to be your main ability. You can just hold it down. It slows you down when you're casting, whatever. And then your left-click is going to be that secondary ability, which remember we went with blink. And you can see over here on our interface, we have the red and blue. We all know what that means. Your health, your mana, self-explanatory there, pretty, nothing new there. And then that middle meter, that yellow vertical line there is your stamina meter. That's going to be used for everything from sprinting and dodge rolling. I almost died there. See if we can get this thing down. Yay, we beat it. Okay, you can see that we got a crafting material. These things that have these cool beams are auto pickup. Those are your crafting materials you're going to need. And if it doesn't have a beam on there, it's an item that you actually have to click the F button by default if you're playing on mouse and keyboard to actually loot the item. The game does support controller. I personally haven't tried controller yet, but it is an option if that's what you're all about. And then, other than that, you have your, obviously, the health and mana potions as well. Okay, so we leveled up our character finally. So your character levels up differently than your spell ability levels up. That's what the two different XP bars at the bottom of the screen. The blue one is your ability. The bottom one that's full now is your level. So when you level up your character, you can choose from one of three different choices, which I really want this one because it's a rare modifier and it's really good. Health is also really good. But for the sake of the video here, those aren't just the three and then you're screwed if they're nothing good in there. You can actually refresh these choices. The first refresh is free. Projectile damage is really good. And then you can continue to hit refresh and see other choices as well in there. These are all going to be kind of just your base, kind of your stats, your attributes, your damage, whatever. Like we're not going to want to go spear damage because we're not running a spear ability. Remember, we're doing earth projectile. So anything with like intelligence, anything that would be good for a caster, even all defenses is actually pretty good. But we're going to go cast speed here, 15%. And then I'm going to keep killing here and try to level up my ability here to show you that as well. All right, so I went ahead and jumped into my next adventure here and finally leveled up my ability here. So as I said, your abilities level up separately. And what this means is in the demo, your character can get to a level cap of 10, but your ability can only get up to where you can get 4 perks. Now, I love this system. It's cool. I wish I could respec because if you screw up and take the wrong modifier for your ability, you're going to want to re-roll a new character because with only 4 options, it's kind of limited, but it's a demo. So why not just check out other stuff? Now, I can tell you right here, this multi-flare is easily the best one for projectiles, just to get an additional projectile. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to refresh just to show you some of the other options you can get here. And remember, we're playing the earth projectile here. So if you're playing a melee build, I think you see different options in here as well. So it is really interesting playing different characters. You can see all these different ones. You can see orbit, it will orbit around you. So this would make your ability kind of like just an aura that, orbit's really good with the storm ability. You can get it so that your ability will trigger elemental ground on hit. I'm personally not a big fan of this one. You can get it so your ability will trigger a small storm in a random directions as it travels. I haven't checked that one out yet. Maybe it's good. You can increase the size, which is, I don't know, not the best for projectiles, but it's also not terrible either. And all these stack up to become really insane. Here's one, War Strike. Your ability will trigger a small strike in a random direction as it travels. And then triggered abilities is a whole different mechanic as well that you can actually make things trigger faster. Like the dev has really thought out the build diversity here, and it just gets insane really quick. You can get one so that your ability stays stationary. I did not mean to click on that, but I did. So I'm probably gonna have to re-roll because I don't think this is the best way to go, but watch, it's like the most overpowered thing ever. I didn't look, I just clicked. I meant to click refresh to keep showing you different options, but there you go. So this one's actually not terrible if they follow me, I guess. I don't know. Can I set it on them and come over here? It doesn't do yeah, this is terrible. Don't do this with projectiles. I've never actually tried this before, and I died because of it. So there you go. You can make a bad decision like I just did. And in that case, you just want to create a new character and keep going. But I want to jump over here, and I want to show you my projectile dude that is just destroying. So you can see here, look, this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, literally 4th, and I think I even made a 5th fireball just testing out all the different combinations you can get when you level up. But I just want to show you this one real quick here. So this is the craziest build by far. So this one, I'll show you all of my stuff that I got. So over on our talents, we probably don't need to go crazy into this. These are just health, damage, whatever, things like that. But over on the abilities, we went into, obviously the first one here is an additional projectile. You can actually get this twice. So if I were to go back and redo this, I'd try to get 2 of those probably. And then I went over here and I got this one here. This will make it so that my ability will trigger a small beam in a random direction. And then I went over here and got so that beam will have additional projectiles. So it literally is crazy. So you have like your base ability, you can make that ability have different trigger effects, then you can make that trigger effects have even more effects. And it just stacks up crazy. And I think the level cap in the full release, the game's going to be like level 50. It literally is going to be insane. But anyway, here's the character here. And we're going to talk about gear and itemization, but I just want to show you this. Look at all those fireballs and beams. It's literally crazy. Absolutely love this build. And when you're in a map, I mean, it's just crazy, man. It's like the whole map. It's wild. Absolutely wild. On to gear and itemization. So the gear in this game is honestly what stuck with me the most. From the minute I fired up this game, got my first piece of loot, and realized what all you can do with the items in this game, I just loved it. I immediately fell in love. I was like, the item hunt is so good. I mean, trying to find that perfect item is so rewarding, and that's what I keep coming back for. So in the game, there's 9 item slots, 10 if you're doing a one-hand offhand. There's only 9 if you're dual wielding. And then you have different rarities like you'd find in any action RPG here. You have white, blue, yellow, purple, and then this orangish or whatever color that is. And the different rarities just mean they have more affixes on them. You can find up to 6 affixes on an item. I have not been lucky enough to find one yet. But here's what's really cool about the game. So as you level up, the base items are going to get stronger. Things, if you've played Path of Exile 1, Path of Exile 2, it's going to be very, very similar in that sense. But you can see like this is a level 20 item. It has 900 evasion. You can see this one has 1,000 resistance, 1,050, and that's because the quality is higher. So not just rarity, you also have quality. You can see on this chest piece, the quality is okay, which is currently the highest quality in the game, I believe. And then over on this one, I guess it's also okay, but you can get the other quality is bad. So it goes bad, okay. And that's it for the demo, but once we get, the full version of the stuff, we'll just see it keep going up. I think it's going to be awesome. So much to grind for. So that brings me to crafting. So I'll just go ahead and show you the anvil here. So there's an actual crafting station here, and you have all these different orbs that you can use. There's 8 different crafting orbs that all have different things. On top of that, you can also extract modifiers from items and put them into your bank, just like you have on Last Epoch here. So it's literally Last Epoch, Path of Exile, boom, you have Sonak. I love the crafting system. 2 of my favorite action RPGs. And then just to extract an item here, I just wanted to point this out before I forget. If you have an item that only has 1 affix on there, so like if we wanted the wisdom, we would guarantee get that wisdom. The base stat on there, the increased spell damage, you can't extract that. That's part of the base item. But over here on your mace, you have 2 different affixes. So when you go to extract, it's just a chance of which one you're going to actually extract from. And then, so, the higher rarity, you have less of a chance to get the one you want. So if you find an item that has like a rare modifier on there and it just has the one, you could try to craft it, but then if you craft it, you're going to have less of a chance to extract the good modifier. Anyway, there's a lot to it. I just love the system here. But over on crafting, I know I skimmed over it. I want to actually go a little bit deeper with the crafting system here. It's not as confusing as it looks. So we're going to take this body here, this piece of armor, and we're going to compare what ours is. So we can already see evasion's not that great. I'd probably rather have the resistance, but you can always check your character sheet. You can see right here, what do we need? Oh, we actually have a lot of spell damage reduction, which I believe is your resistance. Evasion could be a little bit higher if we wanted to. So really, it wouldn't be that bad of a choice to make this thing awesome. But the drawback here, and I've noticed this, is you have 3 different types of items. You have armor, resistance, and evasion. Now, it seems like the armor has a higher chance for like melee things, melee modifiers to roll on them. Your resistance has a higher chance for your spellcaster type things, and then evasion has more of your roguelike type modifiers to roll. I don't know, just from what I've noticed anyway. But anyway, back to the actual crafting system. You can see we have the 8 different crafting materials here. These are account-wide, and currently they're shared between softcore and hardcore. Personally, I'd like to see a solo self-found version if I wanted to, and separate hardcore and softcore, but that's just how it is for now. The very first thing when you start crafting is you're going to look, is it a good base item? And you can even look and see if there's any good stats on there that you need for your build. Like this amulet would be good. We need wisdom. This one wouldn't be that great. And then mana, agility, and stamina. I like stamina a lot. It gives you that good health regen. But anyway, let's craft up this item here. So you're going to use an ascendant on this. And what this is going to do is it's just going to upgrade the item to a higher rarity, give you a random modifier. You can see right here we get attack speed per 5 agility. we really wouldn't need that because we don't attack, we use spells. So what you can do, I love the crafting in this game. So these two different crafting materials are really awesome right here. So you have one that's going to remove a random modifier and give you a melee. And then you have the same thing over here for spell modifiers. It's really awesome. And then you can also, if you're good on all that, you can get an attribute modifier, which is great, or a defensive. So this is kind of it's not really deterministic, but it kind of is, I guess, a little bit. But there's still that hint of RNG in there of getting exactly what you want. So I can see here attack speed. We don't need that. What can we roll it to? Cooldown recovery is not great, but whatever. We're going to keep going here. Let's upgrade it to yellow. Melee. See how it has evasion on there? That's why I think it's more geared towards melee trigger rate. That's going to help our beams. And you can upgrade this all the way to purple. I want to get rid of that agility. I don't know. I think it's because it's an evasion piece, and that's just kind of how that piece of gear is. We should have probably used a intelligence or a resistance base item for this, but I kind of wanted to just show that here. So you can go up to 3 modifiers. You can craft this up to purple, and then you can look and decide, are those what I want? Do I want to re-roll for my spell or my, whatever, attributes, defense, whatever you want to get on there. It's pretty cool. Now, when you have all that done, you can come over here to your captured modifiers, and you can pay a little bit of gold to throw a modifier on there that you want. The modifier, there's so many. And what I love about this too is it shows you what item slot things can actually roll on. So you can see right here, melee crit chance can only roll on chest and weapon. So I love this. I love this. And it, gives value to different item slots and stuff. But let's just go ahead and add evasion for the sake of the video here. There, 10k gold. So now you can see it's a orange item or whatever color. So you're not done crafting yet. So if this is a really good, perfect item, you can come over here and use a zenith on here to maximize all the ranges on that item. So you can, check and see, oh, look at that increased trigger rate. It can roll up to 28 and I only got 5. We can literally use this on there and boom, it's all maximum. It's awesome. But the best part of the crafting here is you can come in here and this is going to be your final item that you're going to use to craft your final crafting material, whatever you want to call it, because this will lock the item from being crafted on more. So this will double the value of a random modifier. Let's go ahead and use it. And we got whatever this is, spell crit damage. So this item's not even good for me. I just wanted to show you the crafting and how it plays out. Now I want to go ahead and show off some items that I did craft that I'm actually really proud of. As I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, I think it was that the higher level you get, you unlock access to rare modifiers that you can find on gear. For example, over here on my Ami, you can see I have additional projectiles. You can see that it says minimum level 10. So that means the item has to be level 10 before I can even start seeing this modifier, this affix, whatever you want to call it. Now, additional projectiles can roll on amulet as well as your belt. Now you can see why I'm showing these off. Those are the two that hit the double roll when I used my Terminus crafting material. And dude, I jumped out of my seat. I was so pumped. These items are still far away from perfect, but I wanted to be able to get the most projectiles as I possibly could with this build. So, I mean, you can see I'm super proud of these items. My Ami and my belt. Some of the other gear in here is pretty good. I had one item in here that was just crazy. I can't remember. Maybe it was this one or something. Yeah, you can see right here, increased spell damage per 5 and increased cast speed per 5. So it's intelligence and wisdom. Those don't start showing up to level 10, and we even hit the devil on that. I love the item chase on this game. I find it very fun, very rewarding, and it is honestly what keeps bringing me back to the game. So you also have your good old stat sheet. We're not going to break it down. It's not crazy. I mean, you just have all your different attributes that do different things that you would expect in any action RPG. Your talents from leveling up, your abilities from your skill that you leveled up. But there's one other thing you can do to customize your build in this game. So a level 5 and a level 10, you unlock relic slots. You come over here on this tree, it says relics. And you can see in here, there's 2 different types. There's a generic slot, an elemental slot, and then there's these 3 that we can't unlock in the demo because level cap's 10 in the demo. So over on the generic ones, I went with increased size, but there's things in here that have reduced duration, increased duration, abilities travel slower. Over on the elemental one here, I went with burning can now stack up to 10. And this is going to be literally that element that I was discussing at the beginning of the video there. That's going to decide which relic you can use. So, you can pop into here and look at these if you want. You can get it so that when you crit with Earth, it will summon a stationary tornado on the target. You can get there's only 6 different elemental relics in there, and then however many generic ones as well. So 6 of each type. Pretty cool. I can't wait to level up more and try out more. And these all, depending on what ability you're using, what modifiers you've chosen, these relics are obviously going to be used, based around that as well. So it's really, I love it. There's just enough here to keep me playing. I know we've covered quite a bit here. I went ahead and discussed from character creation, what your builds look like, what your skills look like, gear, crafting, itemization. Let's go ahead and talk about what you can actually do in the game. I just love builds in action RPG, and that's why I wanted to talk about it first. Let's go ahead and talk about what actual content, what you're going to be doing while you're playing Sonak. Went ahead and jump back into the game here, and we're going to be using my strongest character, the fire projectile guy. So the majority of your time in Sonak, you're going to be running adventures, which are maps with sometimes they have a chance to spawn a random event in there, and then a boss at the end as well. Now these adventures, I think it's your first 3 adventures. You just do them. You're not going to see all these customization options here until you've completed, I think, 3 adventures or something like that. But you can come in here. There's 4 different biomes. You have the cavern, the desert, the forest, and the tundra. I personally like to just do random. I should just pick one that I like and spam it all the time, but this keeps it fresh going with random. You can also add on modifiers that are going to increase your item bonus, your gold bonus, and your XP bonus. However, this will cost you a significant amount of gold, so you're not going to be wanting to really juice these maps until you have enough funds to do so, which, just play the game, you'll get there eventually. And on top of that, you can increase the monster level. So character max level is 10, but you can juice this thing all the way up to level 20 monsters in there. It's super awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into one here. Again, we're playing my insane character. So, visual, I feel like visual clutter could become an issue pretty quickly with this game. But I really want to try to find a special event here. See if I can find one in this map to show you. There are little purple portals here. The other thing, too, I kind of wanted to point out is, I was talking about how you're going to need a good source of gold. I'll tell you, doing these level 20 maps is a good source of gold. Look at this. One pile was 600. Some of these are like thousands of gold. So literally, if you can manage to kill these level 20 monsters and just loot all this gold, it's insane. Like, I farmed up 1 million gold in like no time. But I'm going to keep looking for a portal here to show you. I haven't found a portal yet, but I did want to show you this. You can find these chests in these maps as well. And you also want to break your containers, these barrels or whatever, those drop items and loot. But these chests are usually pretty good. They usually drop at least 1 yellow item. I don't know. That one didn't. Bad RNG, I guess. But I'm going to go ahead and keep looking here for that purple portal. Here it is, right here around the corner. See it over there? So these have a random chance. They're pretty common in your maps. Now, when you go into these, you're either going to run into a wave-based, which is what we got. You can also find a swarm, which is awesome. And you can also find a boss. There's 3 different options you can get. But over here on waves, there's 10 waves. And he actually made this a little bit stronger. Actually, this is actually my first arena wave here with the with one of the bug fixes that happened. But yeah, we'll go ahead here and... it's fast-paced. I love the arena thing. It's so much better. It's actually really fun right now. I'm probably not going to do all 10 waves because I want to show you the rest of what a map consists of. So let's go ahead and take my rewards, tap out early. But you can do all 10 waves. It's really fun. It's just a great game to blast. But then when you're done with that event, you're going to come out, and while you're going through these maps, you're looking for the challenge rift that we just did, but you're also going to be looking for the boss. You see that big beam of light over there? That's where the boss is. So there's no mini map, there's no overlay or anything like that. You just have to actually kind of find your way through the map. I think an overlay map would be cool, but I'm okay with the way it is. And you can see it right here. And there's also this wisp, which will also help kind of guide you. Kind of see these yellow shiny things showing me where to go. But anyway, this is going to be your boss arena right here. And let's see how fast we can kill it. Too slow. I've seen faster. And then you're going to loot all your items. So that's literally going to be a map. And then you're going to come out and you're done. That's one adventure that we just did. Now, when you get out of there, it's really cool. So when you're in there, any items... Oh, that was the item we crafted. I was like, what is this item? So once you're in there, you're going to be finding different items, different rarities. And so the yellow items, if you die inside one of those maps, you lose these items. But you cannot identify these things until you're in town. So it's Once you get to a point where your gear is really good, you're going to be looking at all the pools of loot. You're going to actually be, deciding. I would like to see a loot filter more in this game, but, hopefully to come. And then you can just, identify your items, see what you got, and then you're going to come over here to your vendor, and you're just going to look through your items and see if there's anything on there that you would want to break down, extract some of their affixes. I'm not crazy on trigger rate. Fire damage would be cool, and it rolled 19%. That's pretty good. So we'll go ahead and just break down these three. And then this is literally going to be your loop for like 90% of the game, maybe 95% of the game anyway. But let's see here. So we'll get the fire damage guaranteed. And then you can come over and do your crafting, and then you've got your upgrades, and then you can jump back in over and over and over. I don't know, there's just something super chill about it. I don't have to think. I can just grind and kill stuff. Now, there is one other type of content in the game, which is like actual bosses that you're working towards. So just to reiterate, the adventures that we did, you can customize, you can juice them, and there's 4 different biomes. You go in there, there's challenge rifts, and then you look for the final boss portal, go in there, kill the boss, GG, rinse and repeat. Now, over here, and I can't remember what level you unlock this at, I want to say level 10, but I don't know for sure. You can go over here and challenge a boss. These cost gold to fight. And currently in the demo, this is going to be your final boss that you can fight. We will show the fight if you want to see it. But you can see over here, he has a bunch of other bosses in here. We just don't have access to them quite yet because you're not level, you can't get to that level or whatever. But I can't wait to get into these. So let's go ahead and hopefully I don't die. This boss kicked my butt way too many times. And this is you're going to see why you need that mobility skill here. So you're forced into this phase where you have to do these trap puzzles or whatever you want to call them. Now, if you dodge roll, you can actually iframe through these. But even more importantly, see how I just blinked through and skipped a bunch of them? That's why Blink is so overpowered, literally just for this boss. And then I think you're forced to do this twice in the fight, so it is what it is. Remember, we're playing a pretty strong character. I actually managed to kill the boss in one go. It's not going to be that easy probably on your first character, but there you go. Beat the demo, wishlist on Steam, and really do. There's a special item in here you can see that I picked up that's red that I'm not going to show you. You can go ahead and play the demo for yourself and check that item out. It's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and tell you that. So that's Sonak, and that's going to be the demo coming out in January 2026, a little bit later this month. And I'm super glad I got to check it out early. I don't know. I've clocked like 12 hours, I want to say, into the game. And I just keep coming back for more. I don't know if it's that item hunt or just the fact that it's kind of chill to play, honestly. It's so blasty. You can just hack and slash, get loot. Like, it's just so fun. It is really so fun. I love the itemization. I love the crafting. I love trying out different builds, different setups. I've even dabbled in hardcore. I would like to see a little bit more bosses, more different maps other than just the 4 biomes, different events, just kind of more variety with it. But for the demo, I mean, I really can't complain. It's a demo. Like, I'm not expecting a full game, and I've already gotten 11 or 12 hours out of the game for a demo. That's absolutely crazy in my opinion. I can't wait for more. I can't wait to just keep grinding and keep making insane builds. And, there's the leaderboard in the game as well, that once the demo comes out, you can, get on that leaderboard. I'm sure everyone will pass me, like I said at the beginning of the video, and that's all right. Father of 4, family first around here. But that is Sonak Action RPG. I absolutely am enjoying my time with the demo, and I really seriously can't wait for more. I'll have a link down below in the description in the pinned comment, so make sure you go ahead and wish list Sonak on Steam and check that demo out when it comes out later this month. Definitely keep this one on your radar. It's a lot of fun. And that's going to wrap it up for this Sonak Action RPG indie game video overview. Hopefully you found this video useful and or entertaining. If so, don't forget that like button and subscribe to the channel if you think I've earned it. Please consider becoming a YouTube channel member today. The support helps more than you know. But don't forget, your view alone means the absolute world. As soon as you're done watching this video, go ahead and have a look around on our channel for a bunch of other Action RPG content, videos, live streams, shorts, you name it. Go check it out and enjoy.